Hello. Hey guys, how are you doing? ATD Films. I hope your Easter. Happy Easter to you too, buddy. I hope your Easter is extra bright and happy. Let me do just oh shit, sorry. I just wanted to fix the mic before I start, but I started before fixing the mic. So it's good to see you guys. I hope everyone is doing well. It's good to see you. We will explore the Megacity today, and I imported a character from the game Paragon. So just so you know, in case you don't know, if you go to the Unreal Marketplace and search for Paragon, there are so many characters and assets, well, mainly characters from the game for free. There are so many skins, so many animations, effects. These effects now are not Niagara, they have to be converted, but still, there is so much here you can download and mix. Speaking of mix, we might have fun with Quixel Mixer today as well. It's really dope. If my PC can help me today. So let me switch to unlet for a second. And let me open the chat. I'm making tea, so I need to make tea. Are you staying hydrated? ATD Films. My pleasure, buddy. So everyone in the chat, tell me if you have questions, if you want me to cover something specific, type it. And while we're doing what we're doing today in the engine, which is basically having fun with this character and setting some cinematic shots and answering your questions. So I'm gonna bring my new cup of tea, and I'm come back. Hey, Adam, Anil, Vidit, welcome guys. A huge fan of your work. Thank you, Vidit. Could you tell me, Vidit, what are you learning now in Unreal Engine? So everyone, how's your Unreal 5 experience going? So what are you learning these days? What are you doing? What are you working on? What's up? How have you been, guys? I miss you. Okay, so let's create this camera. I will go to create cinematic, click and drag a camera, press G, get comfortable. Adam, how are you, Adam? Welcome to the channel, Anil. How's it going, Anil? Speak to me, guys. Also, let me do this so I can see the chat easier. And I'm gonna put some music, perhaps. We will see. If it's too loud, let me know. Okay, so I'll pilot my camera. So I'm gonna click on perspective, placed camera, select the camera we just placed. And let's find an angle. Let's actually also scout first, because this is just a random location. So now when I loaded this map, this is the city sample, and you can download the city sample. You know where from? Well, but since it's here from the samples tab. Hey, Anil, thank you. Alright, so let's continue here. Oh my god. Did I put my computer on performance mode or something? I hope so. Later. How? It does not want to open. Okay. We will suffer a little bit. So I can limit my frames per second. So let's do max. We can search for commands here. So max.fps, perhaps fps. I keep forgetting the name of this. So it's t.max.fps. We can enter like let's say 20 frames. And now we get less frames but more stability. So we can, yeah, that's a tip for anyone with low-end computer or like a computer that's struggling. This console command, so it's t.max fps. You can set a low number of frames per second and just have more stable viewport. Yeah, get out of here. Adam, I'm fine now. I have a question. Do you know how to generate your city with the plugin in the engine? I was trying to do research on that. So right now my main problem in Houdini engine, when I create session, it failed to start a new session. And I installed the Houdini engine, the Houdini plugins, the license and all, but I don't know why. However, if you want to try, if you go to the engine, type Houdini, there are the generators inside the engine. So these guys. The next thing I want to try now is to migrate this to this project. So let's go ahead and do that because I was curious. So that's the first question for today. Adam, thank you. So anyway, the main, like the thing you can do, if things should work correctly on your end when you place the city building generator, let's click G. This is the icon of Houdini. In the Houdini engine, you should be able to start a new session if you installed everything correctly. And to install everything correctly, we can get into that in a second. Let's see if we can migrate this to another project. So let's right click and asset actions, migrate. I'm not gonna save anything. Oh, that's not enough. Let's see. To get the location of this project, I'm gonna set also low number of frames per second. So t.max fps 10 frames. Give me low frames, please. PC is dying. Okay. So right click or so control space, right click, show an explorer content, and we can go to the other project, content, select the content folder, click select folder. Now it migrated this. I don't know if it's gonna, I don't think it will work, but let's see. So in my other project, let's find the asset, click and drag. Houdini engine session lost. Oh. Create session. On a new project or like any project, I can create a session. So now we have a session, but on the sample project, I can't create a session. So that's my main problem I'm trying to solve now. Once I solve it, I'm gonna see how many, anyone having this problem? So, yo, Ashish, right? Ashish, 3D Word. I'm doing great, buddy. How are you? How's your weekend? I'm having a great weekend. That's a great question, Adam, regarding Houdini, if it's free or not. Technically, it's not free, but there is a community version that is for free, and it's the Houdini engine, I believe it's also for free. And to learn more about that, so before we get into that, it's a web page we're gonna open. Let's see if we can do anything here. I doubt, but if not, we will go to talk on another topic, perhaps. We will see. So let's maximize this. And we have now options, Houdini parameters that are not exposed unless we start or the Houdini engine, I believe. I still need to learn a lot about the Houdini engine. But this is nice. Building definition file. So we need to load this PDF. So inside the city sample marketplace asset, you download inside the content folder building HDA building. This is a code BDF. These are as far as I understand variants based on the location. So I'm not sure. So CH could be Chicago, New York, San Francisco, and so on. I think there are 4 major cities or 6, I can't remember. So that's the main difference. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but let's select one. We will need everything else. Nope. Damn it. Yeah, I need to solve the problem of being able to make this work inside here. Or migrate everything to another project. Hey, Ashish. You're doing great, buddy. Glad to hear that. So, guys, in Unreal Engine, what are you using the engine these days? Architecture, film, interiors, exteriors. Okay, since I cannot run the license now, let's talk about Adam to continue to how to install Houdini. You go to their website, SideFX. Yeah, sidefx.com. You should make an account, right? Obviously. And once you make an account, if you go to get buy, so there is the free learning edition and there is the indie. So these are not for free, the indie artist studio, and you have school. It's also not for free. And you have the Houdini engine, and the Houdini engine for Unreal Engine and Unity, both are for free. And there is, yeah, so if you add this to cart after you make an account, like do the whole process, will be technically, let me check. Yes, you'll download this file. It's Houdini basically. You will install Houdini. So let's actually just do that real quick. When you download the free version or the Houdini engine. So let's do yes. Click next, agree, next. Then here we go. The Houdini engine for Unreal. And if you have it for other tools, so this should be enabled. And then you download it, click next. So let's copy this. Click next, do all the thing. So let's cancel this and let's open the folder here. So when you download the Houdini, you install it, everything is good. We should go to engine, and from here you can find the tools. You click check onto. So we have Unreal Engine 427, 426, and Unreal Engine 5. This guy, the Houdini engine, we should copy it to Unreal Engine 5. And to copy it to Unreal Engine 5, we should find Unreal Engine 5. Just let me do that quick. Actually, Epic Games. So many folders. Yes. Yeah. My program files, Epic Games, just like all of you guys. Unreal Engine 5, engine, then plugins, and runtime. So we search for runtime. Yeah, there is a folder called runtime. This folder here, you copy the file from Houdini. So copy this. If you paste it here, you see I already have it. So I'm gonna click cancel. And by doing that, when you open Unreal Engine 5, you should see the Houdini engine here. And the Houdini engine is so cool when it works on the city sample. But to demonstrate, there is something called SideFX Labs, and they release so many cool tools for free for games. They have like more than 150 tools, and some of them are on Artstation. Some of them, like all for Houdini or like 3D to game engine pipeline, from procedural generation to auto UVs to creating maps, flipbooks, all the cool stuff for games. And all of them are free. You can download them, there are videos. So there is so much to explore on their website, SideFX. That's not an advertisement, but Houdini is dope, guys, and future is procedural, right? Doing things manually is fun and all, especially if like we're doing things for specific art, like as we want it. But yeah, to build words and all, imagine what you can build when you know. That's so nice. I watched the presentation on Unreal Engine channel on how they're like working on this. Is crazy. But yeah, Houdini is like superpowers. So that was the how to download this. Let's see the chat and more questions. Yeah, Adam, I hope this answers your question, buddy. Ashish, working on interiors. Nice. So let's keep the generating. Once I fix the problem, I'm gonna see if it's fixable, make a video about it, and good stuff. Let's get back to the topic. I slowed down my mouse by mistake. So let's select my camera. Let's select so much zoom, 105. Pilot the camera. Hizir Kaya, how are you, buddy? Welcome. أهلا وسهلا. So before we do anything with the camera, we said we want to scout the city, right? Give me a second. Food. Yeah, I think this is a cool location. So let's put this guy here. And let's press Ctrl B to find him in the content browser. Perhaps. So let's make a new folder first. He's here, Kaya. How are you doing? How's your day and your weekend? Content browser. I like to put the content browser like this because I can see everything here easier. And since this, so here's like something I do because this is a project with so many folders. I want to make it easier for me to find the folders I'm working on. So I make a new folder and give it underscore, then call it whatever I want. Sign. Let me see the food. Sorry, I had to bring the food with me. I'm starving. This is çiğ köfte, Turkish food. Very good stuff. Adam, do I need to have an active license server from Houdini to activate the Houdini engine? I think you need to activate the licenses, yes. And there are tutorials on YouTube. Let me see if I can find the tutorial I was watching today on that and share the link. And let me grab a bite. Yes, this one. So Houdini for Unreal Engine and getting started. Overview, getting the licenses. Yeah, that's important. And to get the license, let me see if I can do that on my page here. Houdini. So where are you guys watching from? Where are you at now? Is it evening? Is it morning? Is it afternoon? Regarding the license, once you make an account, there is a page. Technically, it should be added to your account. It should be a really easy process, but yes, you need to add the licenses to. No, actually, they get added automatically. Yeah. However, if for any reason any problems happened, there is the license. I don't know if I should show this actually. Whatever. Yeah. Give me a second, guys. Had to bring some water. Sorry. Stay hydrated. Anil from India. 80D Films from London. Ashish from India. Ashish, is Houdini good for Arcvhiz? I would say yes. I imagine the future of modeling interior plans will be procedural as well, because across all Arcvhiz projects, there are always walls, always doors, windows, heaters, carpets, furniture, skirt boards, places where you need to cut, do boolean, and clean the geometry, and then add a spotlight. So all these can be automated, and that can be done with tools like Houdini. It's not easy, I would say, but it's doable, really. Just like it's a process. But yeah, I would say Houdini is good for, or like procedural tools in Houdini. Something similar also in Blender Geo nodes, right? So that's how I would say procedural modeling or procedural workflows are good for Archviz, whether Houdini, Blender Geo nodes, and other tools if they exist. Adam from Germany, welcome guys, all over the world. So for this video, I'm gonna share with you a link in case you have any problems. I think this is a really good guide. Let's get back here and let's add a sequencer, empty sequencer, level sequence. We can do that. Ashish, so what I choose, Blender or Houdini? Um, it's up to you. Number one, I would learn. It does not matter. Well, really, procedural modeling workflows. Houdini is more established, I would say. Of course, if you want like to go full ballistic on this, yeah, go for Houdini. But if you want to invest in the future of Blender and you want free tool for free, Blender. And I think both are good, both are great. In both you can do amazing things. But Houdini, yeah, it's been because professionally, if you want also to work in on high-end films or places where they use Houdini, then also you can learn Houdini. But there are also places where there's Blender, you can learn Blender. If I, yeah, that's the answer for this question. I would not choose this or this. I would learn both, really, because all these tools are just tools in your arsenal. That's my main advice, but I would focus on one of them, right? So test the waters. Don't go with one and completely um, turn your face on the other tool. Like, try all tools we have today and then see what works for you, what works with your workflow, and keep going. And no, what are you using the tool for? Like learning a program or a new program is massive. So when you want to learn any 3D tool, you should have an idea about the end result or the things you want to do with this tool. So I'm learning um, SketchUp, as you're saying here, because it's the tool that we can very quickly generate ideas for architecture. And I would learn Houdini, for example, to be able to work on projects that have the scale of a city, like the city sample here, and so on. This is so good. Alright guys, let's continue. Ashish, you use SketchUp for the past 4 years for basic modeling, not for complex. I think you can achieve both with SketchUp. And if it works for your craft, that's good. I would really focus like a general advice if you are a SketchUp user, for example, and the only 3D tool you know is SketchUp. I would advise learning Blender and add a Blender tool to your arsenal, like this guy, because it's one is free, two it can help you process your 3D models that you create in SketchUp, export it to Blender, and if you're a SketchUp user, it might be easier to send this back to SketchUp and use Datasmith to export it. But if you're a Blender user, you can export this as JLTF file format, save it, and in Unreal Engine, you can go to plugins, you can go to type JLTF, and you can find Datasmith JLTF importer. And so far, I found this is one of the best ways ever to import content from Blender to Unreal Engine. Hey, Amal. Yeah, man. This apartment here is Blender and Unreal Engine, or house, not apartment. Let's check it out. And let's increase the frames per second. Let's make it like 40. Little bit. Yeah. The furniture are not made by me. So I downloaded the thing, but all the apartment is Blender. So the furniture actually, this piece is by our assets artist, and this and many assets are coming soon. Wink, wink. To the Harun? No. Okay. To the marketplace. Guys, say hello to this guy. Or he wants to say hello, I don't know. What do you want? Bye bye. Okay. So let's go back to our project. We said this location. Let's see, where do we want this? Yeah, let's put them here. And let's turn off the grid snapping. Oh, interesting. Ashish. Amal, how are you doing, buddy? It's good to see you, Amal. Harun is like, wow, he's like 5 years, 5, 6 years. He's a big boy. I was just looking at him and he's looking at me and like, yeah, I'm a big boy. So Ashish, to answer your question, Blender is a digital content creation tool. You can use it literally for anything you can see. I'm not gonna answer this because you can go to the features list and see what. No, you can even video edit in Blender. So we can do 3D modeling, sculpting, animation, rigging. It's for storyboards, story artists. Let's see. Nodes. Yeah, you can paint. Look at this. Can do everything in Blender. It's funny. Simulations, video editing, scripting, VFX interface. So tools that it's so customizable, the level of control in Blender. Give them that. That's why I love it. It's only 300 megabytes. Okay. Anil, so if we import JLTF file, does it come with the textures or we have to add materials back in Unreal? This depends on the textures that are supported by JLTF, I believe. Just like the textures and material nodes that are supported by Datasmith. But I would say you still need to do work in Unreal, no matter what, at the moment. However, if all the textures, let's imagine, are or of the asset are textures from a website like Sketchfab, then I think the work you need to do is minimal, right? Because the text or the textures here are baked within the 2D asset. However, when you have in your material editor shading, I'm still a noob here. If you have so many procedural nodes and like different nodes and whatnot, like that are only Blender specific, then it's going to be challenging for whether JLTF or Datasmith or whatever tool to convert these into nodes that would work in Unreal Engine. And Datasmith works amazing with 3ds Max and other tools. You still need to fix things on the metalness and specular, but that's for 3ds Max specific. But that's how, because of how the shaders are made. It's a long talk, but okay, you ask, shit, then all right, you mean we have to do a lot of work? Is that what you mean? Yes and no. To mitigate this, what I would do in a project, I would in Unreal, like, see, the first project you're going to do in Unreal Engine is going to take you a lot of time. The second, it will take you less, slightly, maybe. Then the third and the fourth and the sixth, it will take you less and less and less and less time all the time. For many reasons, of course, you're getting better. Yeah. But the main reason, it's because you will be building intuitively, you're gonna build it, your master library or library of assets and materials and blueprints and things you use over and over, right? And you can start that, what I'm talking about here. So do we have how many assets? Sorry, it's the item, I believe. You can start that library. If you simply start empty Unreal Engine project, then in that empty Unreal Engine project, you make a new map. So let's I'm gonna make it here, so it's still next. So that new map, you come here. And yeah, let's talk about this real quick if there are no questions. But this is technically to answer how you can build to make your Unreal Engine workflow faster, building your library. And this is how I start my library today, if you ask me. So I start a new map, and then I go to the window, environment light mixer, just create the traditional directional, the four guys, I'm gonna call them, what should we call these guys? Every time you make a new map, if you want the lighting setup with the sky and all the cool effects, and that are look at this. If you want an atmosphere, if you want to build a place on the earth, let's just delete this guy. Yeah, look at that. We are in the space now. Press Ctrl L. Look. That's the sun. Crazy. So I'm gonna press F, and there we go. Now we unhide. Let's just put this back to 4. And let's unhide this. So that's the easiest way and the best way to create a setup. Now I would go to the modeling tools and create for us a floor, because where are you going to place your assets? Are they going to float they need a floor. So by default, I think the modeling tools are enabled, so we can create a small floor. So let's say 5 meters by 5 meters by 20 centimeters, and then let's add it somewhere. Click complete. And let's just give this a material. Let's type white. Okay, paint white. And that's a good thing. So what we add next? We can make this into a room if you want. So let's have fun into that. Yeah, just give it like not a room, but slightly some space. I am duplicating these walls. Reduce the snap size so I can snap this area. Place them here. Okay, I think what's missing. One thing to know every time you add a skylight, we need to enable real-time capture. So look before we enable real-time capture, and when you enable it, you get the skylight instead of complete darkness. Okay, in the engine content, if we, I think it's called material. That's not the best way to search. Let's find static meshes. So I'm gonna type here on the filter and type static mesh. And in here, we might find, if we type mat, yeah, SM underscore mat preview mesh. So this one is in the engine meshes. You put it in the center of your room. So let's copy the location. And let's make a couple. So here's one more. And here's one more. Let's put these guys here. And for example, this map can contain many of these or just these as a start, and you can ask yourself a question. Hey, what what are the materials, for example, I use in my Arcvhiz projects every single time? Well, we have materials for walls, so you can have a section for wall material variations, or you can have just one for walls. We also have, so also you ask yourself, yeah, we have the walls, opaque surfaces, is that even English? We have, if you have a table, so we have maybe wood or we have plastic. So you apply all these here in a place that you create for yourself because you know your library, you know your stuff, and you know how to assign these things on your projects. You know your workflow, so you build your library around that. And there are also what? There are also translucent surfaces. And there are, as you know, because Lumen is still work in progress, and for translucency, like it's not about lumen, it's about translucency itself. Like this is the holy grail of computer graphics: real-time global illumination and translucency and real-time ray tracing. This is like science fiction 5 years ago. So because we should be thankful for what we have and work around it, there are some material tricks you can do to your material, like I don't know, adding expressions to your master material where you can control the Fresnel value of the reflections and or the index of refraction on your glass So you can manipulate the material itself. So one of them could work really well by trial and error on Windows, and some of them could work really well on bottles, yeah, bottles, and so on. So you create these, you make a list of these, you add all of them to a level like this, you assign them to your materials so you can keep updating on all of them, and they all are connected to one master material. That's how you build your master library. And next would be what? You'd be and you'd ask like what? It would be building your library of 3D meshes. So we have sofas, we have uh, tables, kitchens. Like if you just go to any website and search for the categories, you can yeah, build your library of assets, and that's the best way and the best thing you can ever do, ever, to work faster in Unreal Engine. Now the best part of all of that, once you have enough, I don't know what enough means, but once you have good amount of assets, you can also automate the process. So when you have a project that you import from 3ds Max or Houdini or Blender or whatever, because we have metadata on any object, you can select all wall meshes and apply this wall material for them automatically. You can also select all glass meshes and apply a translucent material on all these glass meshes. And the same for everything else in the project, whether metallic, what, yeah, emissive, cloth, curtains, floors, and so on. So you can automate all of that. And of course, you can do that with your boy data prep. For me, this is still learning process. So if you search for data prep, visual data prep, Unreal Engine, it's a linear workflow. So from left to right, I think it's the same. You can read more about it. I will read more about it, and then we can learn it. But I would appreciate any tips until then. Anil, because I'm a begin, so that's everything on the master library. Let's go back to the city and let's read the chat. Anil, because I'm a beginner in Unreal Engine 5, editing materials in Unreal Engine is a little difficult for me. Can you please explain how to edit materials, properties in short using nodes? You are in luck, Anil, because I'm working on material lessons, and I'm gonna share the same references I'm reading, and I'm gonna explain what I learned so far with you, so maybe we can make it easier for you. But that's another question. Let's get answered. So wait a second. What was the name? Yeah. Here. Nothing really fancy, by the way. But wait for it. So materials, they are material essential concepts, essential material concepts. So this is your homework, Anil. If you want to learn, like to really learn about materials, this document here, this guide is, I think, by far one of the best guides ever. And it makes sense. It's written by Epic. The reason I'm telling you this because I've been working on new content in Unreal Engine, and right now I'm researching the physically based rendering, the PPR workflow, and lighting, and I'm doing my homework. I'm reading the documentation and all, and this is really well written document where you can learn everything you need to learn about materials, and like make all that mysteriousness about it just go away. So for example, here the materials, okay, let's go back here. Actually, wait, I need that help. The materials in Unreal Engine are written on a language called HLSL, High Level Shading Language, and these nodes, when you create a new material in Unreal Engine, so let's come back from scratch. I'm gonna right click to create the material, create basic asset, right click in the content browser, create a basic asset. We can create a material. Let's give it a name, descriptive name. So M underscore, this is a name we always follow in Unreal Engine, this naming convention. Then you can call it whatever you like. If it's a material, for example, it's called M underscore base. If it's material instance, something we're gonna cover in a second, we call it MI underscore base. MI material instance, or we give it actually whatever name. Anyway, when we click on this, when we open, it will open the material editor. And here's the material graph. This is where we will do most of our work. And it has one node at the moment. It's called the material node. This is the end result. The workflow here, we add nodes from the left to the right. And everything must be connected to this node in order so to see the effect of what the expressions we're adding. In physically based rendering workflow, we have 4 main parameters we need to care about. The first parameter is the base color. So the base color is, imagine a picture. So if you have a picture and you put it, this is not the best way to describe it, but pictures are made of colored channels, RGB, or pixels we see on our screen. So the base color take the combination of RGB channels of a texture or a color. And when we import it here, so if, for example, if we import a texture, let's see if we have a texture. Of course, we do have a texture. So I'm gonna find us a nice texture. Everything here is virtually textured. Yeah, this guy looks cool. So to add a texture, I think to make it easier for you as well to learn the material, to make the materials in Unreal Engine is learning the shortcuts. So I'm gonna do my best to call the shortcuts I remember, but to add a texture now, if you hold T, then left click, you will add a texture sample node and it will contain the image or whatever image you select in your content browser. So as you can see here, it has the combination of RGB, then it has alpha. Alpha is for the alpha channel, and also all of them combined. These are the outputs of the node, and these should be connected in the material node. So if we connect RGB here, you can see, look at this. We have a preview here. So left click to rotate, right click to zoom in and out. We can change the shape. Look at this guy. So that's for the base color. All right, it's an input that takes. We can also read the description here. So long story short, it's okay to put pictures with colors here. Now for metallic, specular, and roughness, these guys takes only grayscale values. So scales between, they take only one channel. So when we have a texture, let's open this guy. It's made of R, G, B, and alpha. And if you want to preview any of these channels separately, it's a black and white image. So technically, the values of the pixels on this image are values between 0 and 1. Okay, so this is R channel, this is G channel, this is B channel, and this is alpha for the opacity mask or whatever. It's just an extra channel. And these channels are not these channels, but what I want to demonstrate here, pictures with values between 0 and 1 are connected in the metallic, specular, and roughness. And for roughness, this defines how rough your mesh is. So let me open this mood board, look development. If you have a rough surface, it would reflect the light on it like this. If it's less rough, it's you can see the specular highlight here, or the highlight or the light just getting less matte effective from here. So now it's really matte surface. Now it's more polished, right? And this is the value of 0, 1. 0.1, for example. So the roughness between 0 and 1 defines how rough the surface is. So if we have a value of 0, so to add a value here, we need a value, and value is a constant. It's a number. It's between, it's like a number, right? It can be anything. However, just remember, we need to enter between 0 and 1 in these guys. So if we put 0, which is black, we can expand this. We can see the color here. We can connect this to roughness, and now the object is like, is not rough. It's not rough. It's polished. It's mirror-like. So that's for roughness. And if you connect, let's speak about metallic real quick. Metallic, it's basically the object. It's a question. Is this object metallic or not? Is this object, can this object transmute electricity? Is it or not? So is it like copper, aluminum, or is it plastic or wood or wool? So this value, the best practices here are, should we add? So the shortcut to add this, by the way, you can see here we have shortcuts. If you hold one and add this, so we have a constant value now. So the best practices for metallic are either this material here is metallic or not. At the moment, 0, so that's a no. And if it's a 1, it's also, it technically, grayscale should be white, but like if we take the first channel here, so it's like the full value, and this object now is metallic. So if you go to the ball view, right, and this is 0. And specular defines the specularity of the surface. So usually this value here is on 0.5. It's always on 0.5. Actually, we leave it on default. It's not recommended to change specular. You can do that with the roughness. What I mean here, don't put specular of 0 on any object ever. Of course, it can be less than 0.5 on. So there is this article. Everything in real life have some specularity to it. But I need to remember the paper or the article or the blog post. Let's see. For another time, but long story short, to continue, I see so many questions now. Leave specular away if you want like the takeaway from this. We control the reflectiveness of a surface in Unreal Engine using the roughness map. Now these maps combined, and before we talk actually more about how we can use them, actually yeah, let's do exactly that. Sorry. We have some other maps like the normal and some of them like the ambient occlusion and whatnot. All of these are enabled. So all of these maps, and mainly these 4, you can define any surface with these. When you have them combined, so I have some examples here, you get an object like this. So here, if you have a low poly object, you have the normal map of that object, you have the diffuse map of that object, you have the roughness, and so on. All of them applied, you will get the final result of your mesh. And these meshes or these textures look like this. So we have the base color, it's always in color, and the rest of the materials or the maps are between black and white, 0 and 1. So roughness can be defined with the texture, metallic as well can be defined with the texture. We can get an ambient occlusion, the normal map, the final result is something like this. Should work on collecting more. This is extremely old. Go away. More up-to-date presentation. Well, that's good. Okay. Anil, I hope this is helping you understanding the material editor here. Now, I believe getting textures, so to demonstrate more about textures, you might ask, where do I get these textures from? Yeah, let's answer that. Also read this. This is very good read. And let me paste the link for this good read. And let me read the chat because it's been a while. But I can't scroll up. Ah. All right. So if you, yeah, Anil, to finalize your question, you might ask, hey, I know where you can get materials and textures from, but just for everyone, in case, like there are websites like textures.com where you can download these surfaces. Of course, we have Quixel, Megascans. All of them are for free for your Unreal Engine projects. You have Substance, Textures. These are some premium and high, really good place for materials for Arcvhiz especially. All assets, and there is Texture Haven, and there is a big boy Tulga, share textures as well. Good place for Arcvhiz textures, and all of them are for free. Good stuff. All right, Polyhaven, Texture Haven. Yeah, this guy. You have, so when you download any texture, you have all the channels. You import all the channels in here. You connect them, and you get the result. Now, there are expressions and math operations we can apply. So, like the multiply node. If we multiply the combination or RGP or whatever we put here with 1, it will always stay the same. If we multiply this with 0, it will just become black. So if we multiply it with values between 0, if you multiply anything with values between 0 and 1, it will get smaller, right? So in this case, it will get darker. So if you, I'm gonna put this back to 1. Now I'm gonna multiply this with a value like 0.5. It will become darker. Let's make it 0.3 so it's like more visible for the stream, but you can see now it's darker. Now to explain all these nodes, and of course you don't need to learn all of them, and you can add these nodes whether from the palette menu, or you can right click and search for the node you want. So we can type UV coordinates. It's just easier to add a little shortcut, to be honest. So click U and add it. And imagine, I mean, this is massive. The material editor, you can do so much, but on basic level, for the basic expressions for Arcvhiz projects, imagine you have the capabilities of Photoshop to manipulate the pixels of an image in terms to get the look you want. You can literally get the look you want using and combining expressions and nodes in the material editor. And we mentioned earlier, all of this is written in HLSL language, high-level shading language. And when you are connecting these nodes, so these nodes are snippets from the HLSL language. So you are technically just like Blueprints, writing and scripting language, making code, but without writing code, which is so cool. The main shortcuts on top of my head that I would learn here, so T to add textures, and U to add UVs to these textures. So if you want to add a texture here, then repeat it multiple times. So you add a node like U, and you can make it 2 by 2, and you can see this guy. If we enable live update, so all preview nodes, you can see now he's 4, and you can multiply it 5 by 5. You can do that. Another way to do this, I'm gonna put this back 1 to 1. Now you might ask why we use expressions, like why we use a value, a node like multiply other than darkening the image. All right, good question. We connect the texture kernels to A, and we connect it to UVs, and we click on one to add a scalar parameter or a constant parameter or value or number, and then we type here 5, right? And we connect this now to B, and now we multiply this 1 with 5, and now it's 5 times repeated. So this is like small script, let's say, to UV tile your textures. And if you select these nodes, click C and like UV tiling, right? Cool stuff. So when you connect this node now to any texture sample, you will UV tile all of them together. And of course, when you connect this to the base color, you get the final result. So yeah, we said we have T for texture sample, M for multiply, U for texture kernels, 1 for this guy, the scalar parameter. Let's try 2. Okay, so this is 1. It's constant 1 with 1 value. 2, constant 2 it's called. So if you look at the palette here, yeah, where you at? Yeah, on the very top. And by default, any node with a shortcut, try just to get more and more familiar with it. In everything here, it means like, yeah, we use this a lot, like the texture kernels by pressing U, right? So 3, constant 3, now it have values of RGB. So this guy have only RG, and this one is just a value, which is R. And 4, don't crash, yo, 4, RGBA, so RGB and alpha, right? And if you press S and click, you will add scalar parameter. And scalar parameter is technically the exact same guy as the material expression, like this guy. Forget its name. Constant 1 value. So S is a shortcut for this. So why are you teaching this? Because I don't want you to right click and convert this to parameter, but you can do that if you want. So just kidding. But instead, yeah, if you want, you can right click and convert this to parameter and give this node a descriptive name. So we can convert this guy to a parameter and call it, yo, your name is UV tiling. Okay? Let's delete. Oh no, don't delete this. So the same for constant 3, can convert this to parameter, and you can give it a color. And I will tell you why parameters are important in a second. Then we can wrap up this materials question, but this should teach you the basics. I hope so. Yeah, you can convert this guy to parameter, but it will become constant 3. So you cannot convert constant 2 to a parameter because it does not make sense really. I mean, for the color picker later, it's painful. Especially, it will just make things in math extremely hard. So when you convert parameter constant 2, it becomes what we call a vector parameter. And the shortcut for that is V. So if you hold V, then left click, you can add a vector parameter. And it have also RGB and alpha. So let's talk why parameters are important. Of course, they are important because they help us organize our project. And without this setup, you might ask like, hey, I can just do this, all right? So connect the UV and then just make this 5 and make this 5 and click save. And wait, that's the important part, right? Like you have to do this. Then let's make a surface. So I'm gonna go to the modeling tools, go to rectangle and make like a surface. Here's a nice little cute surface. I'm gonna press Shift 1 to switch back to modeling mode. Yeah, there we go. This is the surface. Here's my material. And I'm gonna click browse and then assign this material. Sorry. This looks dope. Now you want to modify this, right? Well, yeah, you need to open the material again and do your modifications here. So I want less tiling, so I'm gonna make it like 3 by 3, and then save again, right? And wait for save. Ah, didn't save, did it? God, yeah. Save. Yeah, now it saved. You see how much time this took? Took a lot. What you can do, so I'm gonna delete this parameter. I'm just gonna put 1 again here. So constant 1, I'm gonna put it like to a value of 3. So nothing really changed here. So this is also value of 3. I'm gonna make it value of 1 because it will start multiplying. So now it's multiplying whatever channel A with 3. So if this was 3, it will become 9, right? So we set this to 1, and now these guys are multiplied together here. Okay. Now let's browse to this material and right click, create material instance. And let's assign this material instance on this surface, and let's open that material instance. And you will see something slightly different, well, really different from what we have in the material. And all of this, I'm saying it's like really well explained in the document I shared with you guys earlier. So this material, you can create from the material, we call it a master material or parent material. You can create a material instance. And this material instance, if you want to name it as we should, and we should, let's click browse, find it, and call it, instead of m_base_inst, no, mi, material instance. Then we call it happy face. Okay, now happy face here does not have any parameters. We only see we have a parent, and if we click on this parent, it will open the material we made, the parent material. Now, if we right click, convert this to parameter, and type here change me, like this is the name of this parameter. Wow. Let's click save. And remember, now we assigned on our mesh here the material instance, okay? And this material instance, if we open it, there is a new parameter here, global scalar parameter, and it's grouped by default in scalar parameters. So if you have many different type of parameters like this one, and maybe a texture sample that is also parameter, they are all separated from each other, so it can be easier for you to change. But you can also change this global scalar parameter to a better name by giving this, every parameter have a group to it in the material expression. So change me, let's give it a group and call it everything that has to do with the UV tiling is gonna make a new group called now UV tiling. And let's save this. And here you see a new name for this group called UV tiling. Good stuff. And now we change this guy. And the best part about material instances, that everything you do, almost technically, all parameters you change, you can change them in real time and also in runtime. And you can see the effect immediately. Right? So let me show you another cool example of material expressions, like these things we can change. Cool stuff, right? Yeah, I know. I'm gonna delete the lighting in this scene. So I'm gonna go light, search for light. Hey, skylight. Get out of here. Select this dome. I'm gonna press Ctrl X because I like it. And I'm gonna make a text notepad and save it in this notepad. Press Ctrl V so I can have the dome. So I'm nearly finished with the material. Then I'm gonna read everything, promise. Sorry. So control space, let's actually find our base material here. I'm gonna delete these extra materials. So this is our material now. Cool stuff. I'm gonna connect this to the emissive material. And here is something I don't want to touch on now, but maybe in future. When you click on the master material, so this is really important to read about. I sent you the link. Is to read about the material domain, the blend mode, and the shading model. So this will define what this material will be used for. And these are hard-coded in the material, meaning to create a glass material, you won't be able to do that with these settings because these settings are for non-glass materials. To make it easier for you to create a glass material, if you choose from the blend mode, and the blend mode, for example, decides how this surface will blend with the background behind it. So when you have opaque blend mode, it means like this does not blend with the background at all, right? But if this is a translucent, it will just tell the material how to blend with the pixels behind it. So we have mask, translucent, and so on. So this is a topic for future. I would recommend reading about this in the link I sent you from the documentation. I'm trying to find that link again, to find it to you again. It's we can read it together. Let's just do it. Yeah, there we go. The material domain, it defines what the material will be used in your project. For example, surface, it's just easier to do this. If you click on surface, this is just a surface, and the surface will define how a mesh will interact with the light. And you can use this for more. You can use it for light functions. You can use it for the post-process volume to create stylized rendering effects or whatnot, and so on. User interface, and yeah. And the blend mode, as I said, it will define how the surface will blend with the background behind it. And the shading model have predefined settings for you. For example, if you're going to create cloth object, you can select this from here. You'll have the subsurface color, number 1, number 2. You'll have also the fuzz input as well. If you're creating an eye, you don't want to reinvent the wheel when it comes to, especially digital humans, like the eye shader, like extremely complex stuff are going in here. You can just select, not a template, but like a starting point and go up. Okay. And the shading model, it defines how the material interacts with the light. Sorry, hair, cloth, skin, and so on. Good stuff. Let's go back to the fun stuff. I read enough today. I don't want to read. So I'm gonna press M to create a multiply node, and I'm gonna create this connect this multiply node with emissive color. And now this guy is emissive. I want to control the intensity of the emissiveness of this surface. So what can we do? We can click one, we can right click, and we can convert this to parameter and give it a name, like intensity, emissive intensity. Or you can directly click S, hold S, then left click to create a scalar parameter. So it will save you the right click, convert to parameter. And let's call this emissive. And let's give it a value of 0 instead of 1, so it would turn it off. Yeah, and let's click save. And let's get back to the city. And let's make an object here. So I'm gonna bring that nice dope Unreal preview mesh content. Let's find the folder called engine meshes. Where you at? Let's type mat underscore preview. No? What's your name? Engine meshes. Yeah. Mat. Mat preview mesh without the underscore. So we add this guy here. And let's assign our material instance. Now, if we open this material instance, Sorry. Wow. Let's open it. Now we have global scalar parameter with one value called emissive at value of 0. And it's in a group like this because we didn't put it in a group. It's okay. And UV tiling. So UV tiling now we can change it in real time. And guess what? We can change in real time the intensity. So this now can glow and make some magic. Check this out. Bro, I love Lumen. Create some cool effects. Now let's bring our soldier. So yeah, I hope you found this useful for like short introduction to materials in Unreal Engine. Let's call it that. Introduction, short, yeah. No, short introduction to Unreal Engine materials. And quick. So this guy comes here. So here's a cool trick. I hope it works. I actually am not sure. Because I don't think there is collision. Ah, because these are virtualized meshes. Of course. Yeah, but it actually still works. Almost. Ah, yeah, that's because his pivot. And the weapon. Okay, it's okay. We can now change his bows, but that's okay for now. Let's put him here. But what I wanted to say, if you want to snap this easier, does it work? Let's ignore this. But try this. Try to enable this setting, surface snapping, and then click on the normal direction of a surface. For example, in this case, the normals of the floor are looking up, therefore on the z-axis. So we select these two guys, the perpendicular axis of the z-axis, and it will snap it to the surface. But there we go. So you can snap your actor on any surface. But I think it's struggling with nanite. So maybe it is struggling with nanite. But on static meshes, it works perfectly. Trust me on that. Wink. So let's reset the rendering here. No, not the rendering, the rotation. And let's do this. He looks dope with this green light. See, without? Ew. And like with. And if you want to have more control over this, yeah, let's do that. Why not? We can add a vector parameter that contains RGB. So let's call this color. And we can multiply it also with this stuff. So we can press M, multiply this. For now, let's set this to a value of 1. So it's like it does no effect. And let's connect it back to emissive here. And let's click save. So every time you want to adjust your material instance, you want to adjust the parent material. So the changes can be saved here. And the best part, you can have as many material instances. So let's make another one. Assign it. And we can now change the color. So what we're doing here, we're taking the pixels we see in this picture, these guys, the combined RGB pixels, and we're multiplying these guys with a color, with any color we choose. Therefore, that color would be on top of our image. So the materials in Unreal Engine are extremely powerful. And start with the basic stuff, make your way up. Reverse engineer other materials. You can of course control all these values in the sequencer to make a cinematic if you like. So let's make this to a noise orange. Change my, yeah, actually I like it. Okay, let's read the chat. It's been, oh, no, let's not save the image. Let's read the chat. It's been a while. Anil, my pleasure, buddy. Fun Garage. Hi everyone, I'm new here and I want to start with Unreal Engine. Hell yeah. Welcome, Fun Garage. We're using 3ds Max and V-Ray in our company to do Arcvhiz. Anybody knows if it is very much work to get scene with Forest Pack and Rail Clone with V-Ray materials to Unreal Engine 5? Is there a good workflow? What if we have hundreds of objects in our scenes? Fun Garage, that's a great question. Now, I believe that Forest Pack and Rail Clone objects and many parameters of V-Ray materials are supported by Datasmith, and Datasmith is a collection of tools and plugins by Epic that helps you export your projects from DCC tools, the industry standard curation tools. One of them is 3ds Max, or the industry standard in architecture, so no one can get offended, Blender users, okay? I'm talking about BIM industry here. So 3ds Max is one of the tools that are supported with Datasmith. When you download and install Datasmith on 3ds Max, you can export your scenes as Datasmith files. You can either export all of your project at once as like one Datasmith actor, but I don't recommend doing that, because if you want to change or do some modifications on a specific layer of your project, then you need to export all your project again. However, let's say you export your project separately, so you have all the architectural elements separated, you have all Rail Clone and Forest Pack objects separated, and maybe even they are separated from each other if you have a big project, and so on. And you can import all these Datasmith files simply by going to Unreal Engine. If you start from the architecture template, Datasmith is enabled by default, and you can find it if you click on Create menu, I'm gonna call it. I think it's a good name. You can import assets, Datasmith, file import, and you can select your Datasmith file. And to export your Datasmith files, all you need to do in 3ds Max, you need to prepare your meshes for the game engine, and like there is some things we need to know. But rule of thumb, separate your wall meshes. Well, that's I don't know if I can compress this. But if you watch any of my lighting tutorials on Lumen, I separate the wall meshes of the project. So try to do that. Make your themes are organized. So when you install Datasmith, and when you just click export, you can find Datasmith as one of the options in the export next to FPX, OBJ, and all the other assets. And Datasmith can be found if you just Google it. Loading. Can see here, imagine it as a bridge also between all the 3D tools and Unreal Engine. Sometimes, by the way, it's easier to send Cinema 4D. This is true for me. It was for me easier to send the Cinema 4D project to Unreal Engine. In Unreal Engine, with Datasmith, I imported that, of course. I exported this file as FPX to 3ds Max. There are some meshes in Cinema 4D for some reason we're not able to export with an FPX to 3ds Max, but they were able, like especially the scatter elements and whatnot. So I sometimes use Datasmith for this. If I want to exchange data between projects, well, now this is being solved, of course, with like universal scene description and whatnot, but still. So it's a bridge, and I think of it as a bridge like both ways. It's easy to import, and it's really, I want export, like it's import tool, of course, not export tool, just so you know. But it's a bridge from all these tools to Unreal Engine, to the editor. So get the plugins. You can find 3ds Max exporter, SketchUp exporter, and so on. So yeah, that's it. And from here you import your assets. So let's see if I can show you the dialog. So when you click on Datasmith actor, it asks you to save it somewhere. Once you set a location and all, you get another menu. So hey, what do you want to import? The geometry, the materials, the lights, the cameras, the animations. So it's up to you to decide on tick and untick what you want. And for advanced, here we have an options regarding the light bake, if we're going to bake our lighting or not. So we're using Lumen. I won't care about these. And if you're 100% certain you're not going to bake your light, you can even disable this. It might make the import process faster. Then you click import. Now, just stay organized in terms of the folders you create across your Unreal Engine projects, because you end up exporting assets between your projects a lot. And the first couple of projects will take you a while to get used to the engine, to get used to its tools. But while you're learning the engine, while you're building your small library of materials and assets, each and every project will take you less and less time to complete. So that's the entry for Unreal. Easy to learn, but high ceiling. It's a massive tool, you know. So welcome everyone. I see new faces here. I see new faces. أهلا وسهلا. حبيبي. Joan Nan. My first time joining live Arcvhiz from Discord. Hey, welcome, buddy. How's your day going, Joan Nan? It's good to see you. I'm glad you joined us on Discord, and I'm glad you're here today. If you have any questions, I'm here now. Adam. So, okay, I was able to install the Houdini engine, and now how to create my own city. If you install the city sample, do me a favor and see if you can create a session and like connect to a session. If once you connect to a session, it's as far as I understood from the videos, it's as easy as just selecting the city building generator. You can click and drag, and this guy is supposed to generate for us a whole building, right, with all the settings that you see around, because all of these are procedural. But that's what it is. It's not working on my end. If it works on your end, let me know. If I solve it on my end, 100% I'm gonna make videos or go live and talk more about the procedural modeling tools in Unreal, Houdini, Blender GeoNodes. I am an advocate of Blender. I'm not gonna lie, I like Blender. It's like entering a religion nowadays. What are you, Blender? Yeah. Welcome to the gang. So let's find our guy. His name is what was his name? Wraith. Angry guy. Yo, what up? So I'm still not over the fact like all of this is in real time. No light bake required. So let's select the camera. So by the way, a shortcut in Unreal Engine 5, if you click F10, it will maximize your view and dock all your windows on the left and right. And now we have the camera selected. I'm gonna click on details and click on this anchor lock menu here. Menu? Sorry, just yeah. Click here. Now if I click anywhere, I don't care because the camera is always selected, and I can go here and I can change the zoom and set the focus and select this guy, click F, rotate my camera, right? And then click details again. I have my camera still selected thanks to this guy. If I click here again and click on any actor, it will become hard to select my camera settings again. So yeah, instead of searching for the camera every single time, and you can do it for any other. It's like lock selection, right? Lock selection in the details panel. So let's make this camera to 35. Let's delete this. It was fun to see it. And actually, yeah, let's keep it. It is fun still. Pressing Ctrl Z and praying not for the engine not to crash. So let's continue the chat. So Adam, to answer your question or like to add more to your comment, I really hope to see me in a couple of days live with you guys again, generating some buildings. I really hope to solve this stupid problem here and make a city. Yeah, that's the spirit. Chafai, your channel is my Netflix, bro. Bro, thank you. Unreal Engine and chill. Anil, thank you so much. You explained very well. My pleasure, man. It was my pleasure. I'm very happy that you found this useful. Audio Tech. Hey, how much do you charge if a company wants to hire real estate 3D modeling using Unreal Engine? That's a massively broad question. Depends on the project. It depends on the deadline of the project, the scope of the work, what is the value provided by these renderings and so on. So the best, I can't give a direct answer here, but it's a process that you learn how much to charge for your projects, and this is different from country to country, different to many reasons. But I'm looking, like I said, the value provided is one of the indicators that help you determine how much, and it's how you position yourself and what is the problems you're solving, right? You can charge just like it's the same concept for designing and building anything. So how can I put that in a word? I'm like brainstorming the words for this, but because any project, right? Almost any project, you can always find someone who can do it for 10 times or 20 times less than what would you do it for. And the same project, you can find people who do it for much more money, let's say. And there is a million factor for this. It's whether you're just getting started or you're a veteran, or if you're focused on providing just the 3D renders, or you're focused on providing what will help the customer, for example, sell their real estate company. So it depends also on the customer. So I can't answer this. I'm trying, but it's a question needs a lot of work. But a lot. I would charge a lot, as much as I can. Because I put very high value on the projects we do and the projects I create and build, especially from the technical side. So if it's just 3D modeling, you will not be able to charge almost any competitive price, right? So it's up to you what you want to do and like to charge, and what are the problems you want to focus on solving in the industry, right? Like every time we need to remind ourselves the question, why are we doing the work we're doing, and why it is useful to the industry we are providing this service for, and how it can be more useful. If it can be more useful, you can charge more, right? Guan Lee, I think about 1,000 USD. Yeah, that's a base price, and it should be much more than that if you're like in the problems solving industry. or a room, perhaps. Even a smaller, like really small room could be like, again, it's up to everyone where you live. Again, many factors. Let's continue. So many questions. Good to see you guys. But Oreo Tech, I hope this helps you, buddy. It was 2 years ago now because inflate 1000. Should be much more than that, Gun One. But again, it depends to you. Ashish, hey, how can we find freelance jobs outside of my country? Now, I believe the best way to attract customers and get freelance gigs and jobs is to display your work, share your work. Seriously, like we need to take a look at our portfolios. Every time I updated my portfolio or uploaded something, I always get work, and I get work similar to the stuff in my portfolio. So interestingly enough, for example, we got so many metaverse projects recently. That's why we've been not uploading, not metaverse, but uh, word building, metaverse, architecture, and R&D. So a lot, right? We've been extremely busy, but things are going so well. Now, if you want to get jobs, make sure you get the jobs that you are interested in doing the most. So this is how I position my portfolio. So if I want to work on exteriors, I would make exterior projects to demonstrate my abilities and my skills to get this project done. If I like working on interiors, if I like working on interior visualizations and design, so design is a whole another skill. You need to demonstrate that in your portfolio. When you demonstrate your skills and your points of power where you're good at, for example, I'm not gonna brag like do this, but I believe I am good in making cinematics, right? So every project we provide, people ask for cinematic. Like, man, we love your stuff and we want a cinematic. And like, all right, I guess I love it too. I enjoy making cinematics, like the best time for me ever. What, are you kidding? Can't wait to find the music and cut the clips on the music and whatnot. So yeah, when you work on your portfolio, I would recommend also having your own personal website, if that's possible or an option. It makes you look more professional. You need to look professional, so you need to learn the things that would make you professional. Especially if you are like a freelancer, your clients want to know that you can get their job done. This means you better have project management system like ClickUp, yeah, Monday, not Mon, yeah, Monday, Trello, if it's free, Notion as well. ClickUp is also free. So these things, when it comes to finding jobs, it's a balance between your amazing skills. Of course, you're gonna make this project look to the best of your abilities. Like, this is your duty. Number one, let's say if you work in the visualization industry, this stuff must look good. Number two, I completely forgot because I took a breath. Number two is the ability to meet deadlines and manage this work and keep them posted and so on. And it all starts from your portfolio and the way you work, the way you present yourself, the way you write your emails. So clarity of writing is clarity of mind. I know this might sound cheesy, but yeah, that's what I look for in everyone we want to work with, right? Especially like especially in the online date, like you need to know to be organized and like I think it's also snowball effect. I'm not saying like this is not the tip that will give you jobs tomorrow, but you want to focus on finding customers that you're happy to work with and who pay you well, and like upgrading on your, like, let's say if you start in your 20s now, you cannot get that like extremely whatever project because yeah, there is more experienced people, let's say. So you start like steps. um it's a process, right? So how you present your, because yeah, not because there is a lot to it, but having your portfolio, having your website, then trying websites, if you are getting started, like Fiverr, whatever website, CG Trader, like similar to these, just to learn the process, just to know what real projects looks like, right? And you want your customers ultimately to come like from the industry you like and the word of mouth. I don't know how to like. I ask for referrals. We ask for referrals from each client we work with. Like it's one of the conditions to work with us, right? If you, because it's a guarantee you're gonna be extremely happy after the end of this. And oh, sorry, there is like, we don't force it, but there are ways. So again, I was not nearly near where I am today in every single way when I first got started in the industry, and I was like just learning what is 3D and what is 3ds Max and what is polygon modeling. So I'm just reflecting between like in this 10 years, and it's like 9 actually, and yeah, giving you what I look for as like 9-year guy. I think the best skill I learned from freelance websites is I became really good in writing proposals and whatnot. Um, I was not that lucky with the freelance websites because the competition is extremely high. When I'm talking to you now, like this is 8 years ago, and also I didn't want to work for such low prices, right? But there were days where I was like desperate for a job, and I like really, like we all been there, especially Syrian boy anyway. Uh, I remember applying on hundreds of gigs and uh, freelance gigs and jobs and whatnot. So that was useful, really. Looking at it now, the ability to write and to organize a project, like the what does this project looks like at the start, what does it look at the end, and everything in between. Lumen is awesome. Yes, Lumen is magic. It's beautiful. I'm so excited about Lumen and how it makes things look so good. So here's a project I'm recording the process of. I think it looks amazing in Lumen too. Actually, let's stay in the city because I wanted to add some lights to this guy. Can we import the file after making changes in 3ds Max without losing the progress? Yes, Anil, when you import a file with Datasmith, you can locate your file. So in this case, I have my Datasmith files here. So this is a Datasmith file for the house. All you need to do after you save, you modify your project and save it as the same Datasmith file, you can right-click your file and click on re-import, and it will import all the changes you've done on your project. Okay? SAS, I can't read your name. Hello. How are you? Ashish to the word. What tutorial would you recommend for me for UE5? I think he is Leifeng. So what tutorials would you recommend for me for UE5? This depends on what you're learning Unreal Engine 5 for, but the best place I recommend is Unreal Engine official learning platform. Unreal Online Learning. Unreal Online Learning. They have so many courses and good stuff. And of course, I recommend our academy. We have courses on the way as well. Can I type the website? Yeah. I'm gonna show you something I'm working on in a moment. So Unreal Online Learning, if you Google this, you go to this website. There is so much here. And our academy, stay tuned. There is also stuff on the way. Let me see if I can make that page isolated, but Recording. We're finally there, by the way, for all my students for the first classes in Unreal Engine 5 for architecture. So if you want to stay tuned, go to VR Division Academy, make an account, and we will contact everyone once we release our new course in architecture. Full update on the master class from the last year. But now it's many courses, not a master. Anyway. My friend, do you offer Houdini courses or offer tech support with free? Leafing I with fee, sorry. I wish I know Houdini. I am an extreme beginner in Houdini. I don't even know how to like the basics, not no more than that. I'm learning the Houdini now to learn more about the city, but I wish Lay. Um, maybe if you join the Discord community, you could find someone if you type in the general section. I'm interested, by the way, if any one of you guys knows Houdini, reach out to me because I'm looking for tech support too. Pranav Blender, welcome, buddy. I use MetaHumans and I love how they are in Unreal Engine 5 with directly in Quixel Bridge. But for now, I'm using a game character, Paragon. So this is amazing having MetaHumans directly in UE5. Alright, I wanted to add animation to this guy, so let's add him to our sequencer we created ages ago. And let's click on animation and let's type run. I want him running. No run? Rare. What about walk? Walk forward. Can I? Oh my god. Yeah. That's so cool. And we can offset him. So how do you want to move him? Oh my god. So let's add a keyframe here and let's see. I will enable this create key when change happens, and I'm just gonna move this guy here. Yeah, I think that's way too much. I'm gonna extend the animation. I will set this to linear, so I click all these keyframes and click 4, or right click and click on linear. So let's exit, expand this a little bit, and move this guy here, perhaps. Too fast. Yeah, that's nice. And just for the funsies, I'm gonna make a light. And make this light a rectangular light. And put a camera here. Select the camera and switch to the camera too. Oh shit, I messed up my other camera. It's okay. So where is the actor? Here is the actor. I'm just having fun here. Nice. Move this boy. Let's change the fog a little bit. Let's increase it. And let's read the chat before that. So going back to the chat. Use the end button. It works sometimes, and sometimes it won't. Well, I don't have end button on my laptop. I'm sad to join stream late. No, Sarah. Don't be sad. It's okay though. Is it ending? I'm late. Yes, Squiff, it will end soon because I'm getting tired and I need to eat again. I'm so hungry. I am streaming right now from Istanbul, Pranav. Pranav Blender. Welcome, buddy, to the channel. The first time I see you. Welcome. Ahlan wa sahlan. Sarah, great. I don't know. I'm just late by 98 minutes. You're not late. So many chats. AIJ, do you have a website example of your work or portfolio? At the moment, we're remaking our website, so right now it's down. My Artstation portfolio is not up to date. Been extremely busy for the past couple of years, actually, so no, not at the moment. But our website should be up in a couple of weeks, and it should have a new portfolio, showreel, and whatnot. Yeah, guys, join us in the server on Discord. Welcome. I get most of my jobs from Discord and referrals. Yeah, I think referrals are one of some of the best ways to get new customers and new projects, and you can always use the better referrals, like just move up. I would say, like, the more projects you would make, the more experience you would get, and the more projects you would get. It's that cycle. Adam, and what is it like using the Unreal Engine for projects that you earn? How is it then with the license? Adam, to answer your question, so regarding the license, in Unreal Engine, you can use it for free. So for the licensing, we have a publisher license, and this is for products that you plan to use with the engine or create with the engine, and it will be monetized in ways where you are able to generate more than $1 million in revenue. So the business module that Apex follows, they say, we succeed when you succeed. So when your product, your game, especially games, video games, makes more than $1 million, you should pay Epic royalties just 5% of your project. Otherwise, it's 100% free to use for your architectural visualization projects, for your customers, to create your VR experiences and so on. For like of course, there are other ways. If you're asking like how can they make money, there is a million ways. But for licensing on that question, you can use it for free, literally. All this fun, all your short movies, all your architectural projects for free, as long as it's not a game or a product that will be monetized on massive scale where you're generating millions of money. Once you start doing that, once your project is success, you pay royalties. That's how licensing work for the engine, Adam. The Discord description is in the link, my guys. Join us, Habibis, and you will get notified when I go live. And Juan Man, buddy, Yahya, could you please provide session about creating Arcvhiz walkthrough with collision and VR? Thanks in advance. Coalition? Is that collision or coalition? I mean, tilaf. Of course, buddy. That's absolutely doable. I will add that to the live sessions list where we can go talk about Arcvhiz, overview perhaps, and talk about VR. No promises when though, so you need to watch either for the videos or the streams. I'm trying to go live as much as possible, guys. It's just so much work, really. So many projects. I'm not gonna say it's crazy, but we're looking... It's crazy. It's beautiful, but crazy beautiful. That's how it is. I think for the next stream where I should go live, I will have a link where you can sign up. We are looking for Unreal Engine developers and artists to work with us. So if you are an Arcvhiz project, Arcvhiz artist, we are looking for people for us, and we also have people who are looking for, not people like companies who are looking to hire talented Unreal Engine artists. Right now we're looking mainly for people who are like creates dope Arcvhiz in Unreal Engine projects, and I will have more details on like how to sign up. And there is another thing we're trying to do. So we are saying no to too many projects because we have so much work, but we're thinking of ways on how can we involve the community or you guys in a way. So that's still something in how can I brainstorming phase where you could have some of you sign up to a forum where you can tell us, hey, I'm very good at doing this and that, and I'd love to work on this type of project and that type of project. And we can reach out to you when we have such a project or when we need help in doing this specific set of tasks for this work. Mainly, I'm trying to look for people who love doing what they're doing. And like the main reason I said like last hour, do something you love. It's because if you do something you love, you will not get bored of it. And you will also get fulfilled. So for me, I love world building. I love environment design. I love lighting. I love challenging projects where there is so much R&D and we're not sure how we're going to achieve this project at the start. So that's that kind of stuff. And there are others in the studio who love designing stuff and creating props. And there are others who like to set up the cameras, the storyboards, the animations, and so on. It's a massive industry. AIJ, what are your computer specs? So I'm using a laptop with 3070 mobile, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and Ryzen 9. ProArt 16 from Asus. It's amazing piece of hardware. And I have my PC, which is 1080 Ti, 64 gigabytes of RAM, and I think Ryzen 5 something. So to learn more about the specs, they are all written in details on Epic's website. But the specs, thankfully, you don't need a beefy computer to get started with Unreal Engine. So you can start with Unreal Engine with low spec computer, like not the best, like not one also from 30 years ago, right? But you don't need like super computer to run it. Any computer that runs decent amount of games. So here recommended hardware, Windows 10, quad Intel AMD 2.5 gigahertz, 8 gigabyte of RAM, X 11 or 12. I recommend 12 nowadays, but you know, like minimum stuff, you can run the engine. Now, the heavier your projects gets, the more customers you get as well. and the bigger your projects get, you need to focus on the VRAM amount you have in your computer, which is the graphics card and the other specs. So you can start small and then you can increase. And you said if they matter, yes, they do matter, because the more VRAM you have, the more RAM you have, the more all of these good stuff you have, the more frames per second you have. Therefore, making your experience, maybe it will allow you just to build more bigger projects. And you see, there is a frame I introduced earlier, like we can sometimes limit our frames per second. You don't want your computer to run to its highest performance. So yeah, I hope this answers your question, buddy. Hey, Adam, it was a pleasure having you. Guys, I have to go too. It was fun talking to you. I'm gonna make more of these where we come answer your questions and have some fun in the engine. So I think we got 5 minutes for the last 1 or 2 questions, and after that I will close. Meanwhile, I'm gonna keep setting up my character here. I'm having so much fun. Oh yeah. This guy walks. Think I need to find more interesting place, but that's okay. I would like to increase the fog, so I'm gonna click word outliner, type fog. Sarah Gray, you said you're late, then you didn't say anything, but I think I was late reading your chat. Damn it. Should pay more attention to the chat. My bad, guys. So let's select the exponential height fog and let's increase this by a lot. See how it goes. I'm gonna press F10. It does not want to work. Okay. So I'm playing now randomly with the settings of the fog to see what can I affect. And sometimes some of the best ways to achieve something, especially when it comes, in my opinion, like for visual effects of the environment, is to play around with these settings and see if entering big values or massive values, what they can do. Like, the best way to figure out what a value can do is sometimes also to go on the extreme with this value. Entering an extreme number and see what it does. That's basically. And sometimes it's okay to delete whatever actor you're trying to adjust and then adding a new similar actor, in this case the exponential height fog, just so you know all the settings would be on the default, or compare between both of them. Hey Yahya, how can I join you in Arcvhiz projects? So on our LinkedIn page, I think, let me check and wrap up the stream with this. So you need to follow up on LinkedIn to stay up to date. We're also making cool posts. We'd love your feedback. But we are making all the job announcements on LinkedIn mainly. Let me check for the last one. I'm looking for it. Maybe we give it a reshare. So yeah. I'm looking if I can copy a link. I'm gonna post the link to the post for you guys on the chat. and I look forward to hearing from you. If you're not at the level, I can tell you why, and work on those skills. Send us your portfolio, guys, and let's see where we can take it from there. I'm very, very, very excited about doing this and getting to work with more and like make amazing things in the engine and just build more environments, build more projects. I love doing this. And of course, I'm so happy about this city model. It's crazy. I think I forgot myself here. Use the volumetric fog. It's deprecated, but it can have cool effect. I don't think it's here even anymore, right? Yeah. So outliner. All right, guys. I will continue messing around with the engine. It's been 2 hours. Wow. That's crazy. I hope you found today's stream useful. And I will see you soon. Leave a comment on this video with your questions. So I'm in today's video, I think one of its highlights, we spoke a lot about materials and learning the basics of materials. So anyone who's beginner in materials, it's somewhere in the stream. I think it's a really nice introduction to materials. It's a setting in the height fog now. Oh, the volumetric fog. Yeah, of course. Yes. Let's see, by the way, while we're finishing the stream, what will happen here, because I'm increasing the intensity here. I think there's a couple of settings should be more aware of. Yeah, let's go. Here's the... So I'm increasing these settings here. And now when we enabled exponential height fog, I'm gonna click here. Oh yeah. This is what I wanted. Where is my soldier boy? Wraith. Should take him to a better place. Let's delete this, it's stupid. Yeah. Without volumetric fog. With volumetric fog. Can change the color. Make it a Blade Runner. Make a sci-fi movie with this. Everything looks awesome. I know, right? It's so dope. It's really good. This makes me so happy. Okay, guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, you know the drill. Leave a like. It helps us a lot. And I look forward to seeing you soon. So take care. And cheers. And for everyone who was here today, you're true habibi. Thank you for being here too. Cheers, guys.